Make sure you have the Node Wrangler add-on activated by going to Edit and Preferences, and under the Add-ons panel, search for Node Wrangler and activate it. Under the Shading Workspace, I make a new material and rename it. I use Shift-A to add a Voronoi texture. I connect the distance output of the Voronoi texture into the base color of the principled shader. I change the feature of the Voronoi texture to Distance to Edge. I select the Voronoi texture and use Ctrl-T and add a mapping and texture coordinate node. I change the texture coordinate output from generated to object. I change the scale of the Voronoi texture. I use Shift-A to add a noise texture node. I use Ctrl-Shift left mouse button to see the noise texture. I connect the mapping node to the vector input of the noise texture. I now increase the scale and detail of the noise texture. I select the principled shader and use Ctrl-Shift left mouse button to see the shader. I use Shift-A to add a mixed color node in between the Voronoi texture and principled shader. I connect the factor of the noise texture to input B of the mixed color node. I change the blending mode of the mixed color node to overlay. I use Shift-A to add a color ramp between the mixed color and principled shader. I move the white color stop to reduce the amount of noise. I select all the nodes except the principled shader and material output. I use Ctrl-J to join them. I right-click on the frame and rename it. I use Shift-A to add a second color ramp and place it between the first color ramp and the principled shader. I change the black color stop to a dark brown color. I change the white color stop to a mid-tone brown color. I use Ctrl left mouse button to add a third color stop and change the color to a lighter brown. I can now move the color stops to adjust the colors. I use Shift-A to add a second mixed color node between the two color ramps. I change the blending mode to Add. I use Shift-A to add a second noise texture node. I connect the mapping node to the vector input of the second noise texture node. I connect the second noise texture node to input B of the mixed color node. I change the scale and detail of the second noise texture node. I use Shift-A to add a bump node. I connect the first color ramp to the height of the bump node. I connect the bump node to the normal input of the principled shader. I change the strength of the bump node. I select these four nodes. I use Ctrl-J to join them. I right-click on the frame and rename it. I use Shift-A to add a noise texture and Voronoi texture. I connect the factor of the noise texture to the factor of the Voronoi texture. I select the Voronoi texture and use Ctrl-Shift left mouse button to view the node. I decreased the scale of the Voronoi texture. I increased the detail of the noise texture. I used Shift-A to add a color ramp between the Voronoi texture and Material Viewer. I moved the black color stop to the right. This is the area where water puddles will appear. I select the principled shader and use Ctrl-Shift-Left mouse button to view the node. I connect the third color ramp to the roughness input of the principled shader. I use Shift-A to add a third mix color node between the first color ramp and the bump node. I change the blending mode to overlay. I connect the third color ramp to input B of the third mix color node. I select these three nodes and use Ctrl-J to join them. I right-click on the frame and rename it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video about making a procedural dirt material in Blender, then you're probably interested in 3D modeling or texture art. So if you're interested in those topics, you may enjoy this video. Have a good day.